My name is Pete, and welcome to my garage. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pete's Garage. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're not new to the channel, thanks for coming back. Alright, have another FiTech video for you. This one we're going to do a little bit of diagnosing on a FiTech system. We do have a brand new FiTech unit here. I say it's brand new, I don't know how long ago he bought it. But this gentleman had it installed by someone else, and they were struggling to get it tuned up and everything, get it running right. Little background on the car here. We do have a Z28. Originally it had a 302. Got a Rally Sport, beautiful 69 Camaro. And we have a brand new 383 stroker installed with aluminum heads. I believe it's 10-to-1 or 11-to-1 compression. Really nice, well put together package with the serpentine belt system and everything. The main thing the customer is concerned about is whenever he's driving the vehicle, sometimes the thing will just kind of have a dead spot, fall flat on its face, and then all of a sudden kick back in, do a bunch of weird stuff, he said. And so he was, asking me to look into it. And so typically on the first thing I will always want to look at on these FiTech systems, or any aftermarket EFI system, is your main powers and grounds. So I'm following the main power and ground harness right here, and I notice that it is directly connected to the battery. And in this case, that is a very good thing that you want to do. You want to have it connected directly to the battery, because this is the best power and best ground there is on the vehicle. If the system has it grounded down there at the cylinder head or anything like that, it's probably a decent ground, but it's not the best. The best ground is going to be here on the negative battery terminal. So, looking at the installation of this, it is very clean. Whoever did this job did a really good job, and we have a clean installation. So, I'm not too concerned about the wiring on this. However, for any of these fuel injection systems to work, they are going to need proper inputs in order to give you the proper outputs. How do we tell whether or not we have the proper inputs? That is a great question. We're going to have to move to the inside of the car, where we're going to look at the FiTech screen. It's kind of nice. It's a built-in scan tool. This type of system right here, this throttle body injected system, it uses a map sensor, so it is a speed density system. It uses a map sensor and engine RPM to determine how much fuel to put into the engine. It determines the load. Also, it uses a throttle position sensor to kind of tell the computer, hey, they're giving it more throttle or less throttle to compensate for rapid throttle changes and stuff like that. Now, this system is the 600 horsepower Go EFI 4 system, and it looks like they got a throttle body spacer in there, or a carb spacer. Usually that helps with the plenum volume and gain a little bit of power. This setup, I mean, it should be, I think it's about a 500 and something horsepower engine. One thing that I did notice is this system right here is capable of controlling your ignition timing. However, this still has it's an MSD, looks like I think it's a billet HEI style distributor. However, the FiTech cannot do HEI. I don't know, if the customer wants me to, we can switch that over to where the FiTech controls the timing. But for now, I don't know if it's a timing issue or not, because the FiTech has nothing to do with the ignition timing right now, the way it's set up. And I can tell that because, well, first off, in the FiTech instructions, it says that it cannot do an HEI distributor. And here's the part of the harness right here that plugs into like a MSD distributor or something like that. All right, let's move on to the inside of the car and let's take a look at our handheld and see if we see anything weird about our data. Because in order to get good things out, i.e. giving it the correct amount of fuel, making it run correctly, we have to have good inputs. And our main sensors on this are the map sensor, which tells it how much vacuum is in the intake. Also our throttle position sensor and our engine RPM. Our wideband is a big input also because this thing is a self-learning system. However, the wideband, it's kind of a feedback loop based on how close it came to its original, did it give it the correct amount of fuel? Yes or no. If it's more, then it needs to take away fuel. If it was too little, it needs to add fuel. So the fact that he's saying it just cuts out and stumbles, I was looking for a loose connection on the power stuff and everything, but that all looks pretty good. So let's go inside and let's see if we see something. All right, let's power this thing on. Okay, so on our FiTech here, our main menu, we're going to look at the dashboard. I don't even know how it's set up, but the guy drove it to my house, so it can't be that bad. Oh yeah, this thing also has a Muncie 4-speed in it. Kind of neat. All right, so we're going to go to the dashboard. All right, we're going to look at our RPM, our map, and all that. So right now, I live in Kansas City area, and normal map, KPA is usually 98, 99, something like that. So that is reading correctly. Our coolant temp, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. It's kind of chilly today, so that's pretty good. The engine's not running. I haven't started it up or anything. Now, my coolant temp should match my intake air temp, which air temp right there, 64 degrees, cylinder temp, 66. It's those are all matching pretty darn close. So I don't think I have a temp sensor issue. Those seem to be working pretty good. All right, now one thing we can really quickly check is right here, our throttle position sensor. That sensor should go up as I slowly depress the pedal in percentage. And you can see it's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing. Uh-oh. I'll back off a little bit. 50% throttle. Go a little bit more, 50. Ooh, it drops to 0. If I keep giving it throttle, I'm probably about 75 now, 80% throttle. I'm really starting to push the throttle pretty good. Oh, 49 now. There's a dead spot between, oh wait, it's working now going backwards. Oh, there. There's a dead spot in the mid 80s to about 50 something percent. Oh, there, about down to 50. And it is consistent. If I go about 3/4 throttle, somewhere around there, as I'm like trying to get on the highway or something, it doesn't think I'm giving it any throttle. So it's going to try to go into its idle routine. This throttle position sensor is weird. I don't think it's the wiring with it because, well, there's not much wiring. And it's consistent. Consistently over 50%, and then it picks back up in the mid 80s. I think that throttle position sensor is part of this problem. If I were to crank the engine, I think our RPM should probably work because this thing actually works. So that works. Then my map sensor went down to a reading that made sense as it was running. All right. On the FiTech unit, here's the front. Our throttle linkage is over here. Our throttle position sensor is actually over here on the other side right here. You can see this one is a FiTech brand. I don't know what brand that actually is. Throttle position sensor. Now, this thing should be under warranty, but it's just easier for me to run to the parts store and pick up a sensor and replace it because they're really not that expensive. Okay, now on the FiTech, this is on the passenger side. Here is our throttle position sensor down here. It's held on with a couple of screws. that appear to be 9/64 Allen heads, pretty small. Okay, back that one out. There's a little washer on it too. Now this is the same sensor that is used on an early to mid-90s throttle body injected GM pickup truck. So I went to the parts store and I got one for a 1994, I believe, throttle body injected 350. Now it's a little difficult. You got to undo the screws, make sure you don't lose any of the washers and stuff. And I don't know if it's stainless or what, but it doesn't stick to the magnet very well. And then I will unplug it. There's not much room to get the plug off, so you got to unplug it and disconnect it from the actual unit, kind of all as one thing. The wiring harness is very short right here. So I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with this thing or why it's doing what it's doing, but let's go ahead and see if a new one goes ahead and takes care of it. In this case, I went to O'Reilly's and got a Master Pro EC3310. It's like I probably could have got it warranted from FiTech, but I didn't want to wait for shipping, and these things aren't very expensive. And this sensor looks identical. So the sensor looks identical to the one that was on there from FiTech. You can see, here's the FiTech one, here's this one. Terminal layout on the inside is the same. So I think we're going to be in business once we get this on. We'll check it and make sure everything is good. Okay, and you can see the shaft right there as I move the throttle body. Notice that goes from 0% throttle all the way over to wide open throttle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get it plugged in, because you got to plug it in before you put it up in there. Okay, so one problem that you're going to find out is that you're not going to be able to get this spring-loaded throttle position sensor right there onto the shaft, because you can't twist the throttle position sensor. So what I need to do is I need to loosen up the throttle set screw to close the throttle just a little bit more. The throttle set screw right here, I can loosen that. That moves the throttle blade right there. So we'll loosen it all the way. Now, oh yeah, it moved a lot there. Now that is pretty much straight up and down. We'll recheck this to make sure it reads the proper percentages after we're done here. But then we will have to reset our idle adjustment, which really shouldn't be too big of a deal. Set screw in just a little bit to open up those throttle blades just a little bit. There we go. I can always adjust it down after we get it running. So now that we have replaced our throttle position sensor, let's go to the inside of the vehicle and let's take a look at our handheld and let's see if this took care of this. Around before 39, 40, 56, 60, 65. Up to 99%. Perfect. And I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to slow that off. That's how it's supposed to act right there. That's exactly how that's supposed to act. Instead of having that dead spot, So if you have a problem with your FiTech, go ahead and check out your sensors. Make sure all your sensors are reading correctly, because if they're not, then you're definitely going to have an issue.